Hey up everyone, welcome to episode 5 of the XPN Podcast. My name is Ash, aka I'm Ghostbuster, and I am joined by SSG Sergeant Sentinel himself, and we've got a special guest this week. We have old-time XBL Party Podcast panelist, Slayer Exclusive Gaming joining us. Woo!
Yay!
How's it going? Good to be back.
Oh, I'm so tired today. I apologise to everyone listening along at home. I feel like I've been hit by a bus. Everyone's ill in the house, and I am tired. But we're here. We're here to talk about good games, bad games, games that might fall in between. Sentinel, how have you been this week?
Good. I've been really good, actually.
That's good to hear. Shout out to Thimber in chat, who was here in advance, well before we went live. Yeah, BMG, he's just so sad that Jim Ryan's retiring. He was like, I just can't face it. I'm too sad. And he didn't want everyone to see him like pink-eyed, crying, like red-faced, in just like depression. So he's not joining us live today, but he'll be back next week, I'm assuming, with some streams and stuff like that as well. So
Yes.
Oh,
Down bad, huh?
He's down bad. His Uncle Jimmy's announced he's retiring from PlayStation, and he's broken. He's broken bad. But before we jump into the sort of game spotlights and the couple of topics we're going to talk about, we're going to quickly go over like a game each we've been playing this past week. So, Sentinel, if it's not Starfield, tell us about at least one game you've been playing, because we'll be talking about Starfield in a bit.
Right. I've actually been playing Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Good choice.
And you know, it's like I asked you guys about, how do you avoid getting in trouble on Twitch playing licensed music, and you can't really avoid it with Grand Theft Auto. So I said, fuck it. I didn't mute it or nothing. I just let the music play. I'm like, if they're gonna do whatever, they're gonna do whatever. Because half of Vice City, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, is the music. I just said, to hell with it. I'm gonna let it play.
Well, that's good. That's good. To be fair, you're 100% right. Vice City is the music. Like, if it didn't have the music, it wouldn't be as good. 100%.
Yeah.
It would just be Grand Theft Auto 3. Do you know what I mean? Exactly the same.
Pretty much.
So.
Yeah.
But like I say, you can play it. It's just it'll demonetize you and stuff like that if you get paid for it. So.
I wish I got paid for it, but I don't.
Well, then play that music loud and proud. Then that's it.
Right.
Now, have you played the original or are you playing the remastered?
Playing the definitive edition.
Oh, the new ones then.
Yeah.
The definitive versions that are the definitive versions of the mobile ports that aren't as good as the originals, but.
Yeah, I have Vice City from my PlayStation 2, but I don't have a PS2 hooked up to, a capture card, so streaming it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, I've played Vice City and GTA 3 so far in that collection, but I played right at launch. So for me, like I say, I was a bit like, do I want to play this anymore, or do I want to wait for them to patch it? And they've patched it since I last played, but I'm not going to lie, I haven't managed to go back and play it yet. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So...
and people complain about the definitive edition, and they're right, but I would not complain if they came out with Liberty City Stories and Vice City Stories made by Grove Shit Games. I wouldn't complain, because we don't have it on current generation consoles. We just don't.
Yeah, I agree. I would love for them to bring out all the PSP games as well. That would be great.
Oh yeah, that would be nice.
Remake Bully already, goddammit.
Yeah, remaster Bully as well. Do you know what? I've played Bully recently. As I was going to do a review on it, it's just in those backlogs if I haven't got to it yet. And it's not aged particularly well, Bully, bless it.
Well, are you playing the Scholarship Edition, the 360 version?
Yeah, the 360 version, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I play too.
But it's all right. Like I said, I'm not saying it's bad in any sense of the word, but it's just not as it's not aged as well as I remember it, basically. So
yeah. You know, it sucks though that Bully 2 got shelved for RDR2. You know, and all the little dialogue options that they had planned for Bully 2 went into RDR2. That's what happened to it, and it sucks.
Yeah, it's a massive, massive shame that we never got a sequel, because it lends itself quite well to having I feel like a proper sequel in my eyes. Yeah. Like, it has a lot of potential, but they just never really utilized it, basically.
And it's like, if you want to play a Rockstar game that's like Grand Theft Auto but doesn't have the killing and stuff like that, Bully is perfect, and it has humor, and it's fun to play. Legitimately, it's fun to play, you know?
Yeah, 100%. 100% exactly. What you've been playing, Slayer? Tell us one game, like the highlight of your week.
Well, I have to be honest with you. I've been putting in a lot of overtime at work, so I haven't really had much time to play, but I have been playing a game that we're gonna most likely talk about, which is the Sea of Thieves DLC for the Monkey Island.
Yes, we will be talking about that soon as one of our spotlight games. Really, really, really good. I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to talking about that soon. I'll go in about mine then, and give it a little bit of a plug, because I played this the other day. You'll laugh, but honestly, this is what I get to do. For you kids out there, the other night, I played like the first zone of Paw Patrol World by Outright Games. So obviously I am an Outright Games ambassador. They do like to send me a load of stuff to do games, cover their games and stuff like that, play them. So I got this one sent on Switch. So I've been playing it on the Switch. It's like GTA Paw Patrol. So you've got like little semi-open world. You can sort of drive around, like a little map. You do quests and side quests and stuff like that. It's probably the best Paw Patrol game they've done. It's not linear or anything or boring and stuff like that. It's much more interactive. You can play it co-op as well, so you can both sort of drive around and stuff. And it makes you have to switch between all the different dogs to complete all of the missions and stuff. So like, you'll need one with a certain vehicle to do certain things at certain times. So it gives you a reason to sort of switch between the whole crew and everything like that. But yeah, I played that for a fair few hours on I think it was Wednesday. Thimba was in chat, and some brand new people on the channel were in chat. So if you do want to watch what the first zone and then the start of the second zone is like, you can jump into the like live stream archive on our YouTube channel. I think it was our most watched YouTube video live stream ever for gaming, which is crazy. Like, in terms of all the games I've played live, I've played Final Fantasies, we've played horror games, we've played all sorts of stuff, Sea of Thieves, new releases. But I play Paw Patrol. My God, that thing blew up in terms of like the numbers on the channel. So I quite enjoyed it. It was all right. It's very easy for achievements by the sounds on Xbox. You can probably get all the achievements in about 5 hours. So if you are an achievement hunter out there, it's definitely worth the look. And yeah, I told you, Thimber, it's just weird. Like, there's some like major interest in this Paw Patrol game. And I'm not sure why, but it's been blowing up on socials and stuff like that. But hey, hope you guys, like I say, are enjoying the show so far. Hit that like button if you are. Hit subscribe if you are new to the channel. Now, we're going to jump in to the game spotlights. So in this show, if you're new to the show, like I say, this is our 5th episode of the show. However, this is just a new show we're doing. Previously, we did 60 odd episodes of the XBL Party Podcast UK, probably about 80 episodes of the XBL Party Podcast normal. We did the PSN Party Podcast. This one we sort of cover all consoles, all genres, all types of games. And instead of like living off the sort of fanboy news, we tend to spotlight the games, talk about cool games that are new or old, to be fair, just whatever we've been playing. So we're going to start with you, Slayer, because you said you've been playing this, and I've played both the first two parts of this. The third part is now out, I believe it came out this week, and that is the Sea of Thieves Monkey Island DLC.
Yeah, it's I mean, I have to say, like, first of all, this is honestly like I kind of was a little bit surprised when they announced it, because I really fell in love with when they did the whole Pirates of the Caribbean theme in the first DLC.
Yeah.
And I have to say, like, this is kind of what I imagined a single player Sea of Thieves game to be, like exactly the way this Monkey Island DLC has been so far. It would just be amazing if they just kept on going with this. Like, I don't know what other kind of like crossovers they could do. Potentially One Piece. That would be kind of weird, but it would be kind
I
of cool
keep
too.
saying One Piece. Like, they missed a trick not jumping onto the Netflix show bandwagon. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I don't know if it would work with Sea of Thieves. Maybe a little bit. You know, it's a little bit out there, but I'm actually like kind of like a recent fan of One Piece. I actually played like like when it first became an RPG. I think it was a couple years ago. That was pretty cool. That was like my first foray into One Piece. So that would be a little bit of a cool crossover. But like I said, this is definitely like the Monkey Island DLC has been exactly what I wanted out of a single player sea of Thieves. And like I really hope they just like kind of keep running with it and maybe make their own original stories just like this, you know, because like I wasn't a huge fan. Like, remember when they first introduced the whole like semi like bi-weekly tall tales or whatever,
Yeah.
like those little short stories? Those were kind of boring because it was just like, you know, the open world stuff, you know, like where you had to hunt down like a whale, or I don't know, it was okay, but this is definitely like, this has gripped me really really well.
I
Just
didn't
everything about it.
I didn't like the end of the second one. I thought it dragged out a bit long. We had to do all those like insult fights. However,
Yeah, I agree.
other than that, I thought this is probably some of the best DLC for Sea of Thieves, mainly because it's single player. Like, it's solo. You don't get interfered with anyone else. Like, I love the Pirates DLC. It was awesome. Like, it was so cinematic. It was fantastic. But it was always ruined by the other players when they would grief you and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Where they just ruin your game. You'd spend all this time doing this fight, and then suddenly it just wouldn't like it and stuff like that. So
yeah, certain parts of that were kind of whack. Where like, you know, for the most part, it would be instanced off where, you know, you're kind of like on your own. But then like, you know, because like most of them would take place like underwater in the mermaid layers. But then like to you know, to like just be able to like go into the mermaid layer and be completely fine, and then come back out and your ship is gone because it got destroyed by someone. That was kind of like, what the hell just happened, you know?
yeah.
And then like some of the other parts were, yeah, like you were just like in the world, so you know, you were able to be attacked by someone else even though you're like trying to do this story based content. Like, that kind of sucks. But this is great because it's completely instanced off, and that's how it should be, you know? Like, if I want to, like, I should be able to play a game how I want to play it, you know? I don't want to have to like decide like, oh, do I want to actually play this and possibly have it be ruined by someone else, or, you know, like that just sucks. Like, I don't want to have to make that kind of decision, that kind of trade-off. Like, you know, that just ruins the experience for me. Then some people are just like completely, they're just like, you know what, I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not even gonna bother because I don't want that experience ruined for me.
Yeah.
But that may change with the recent updates. So
yeah, that's another thing I'm really looking forward to. So they've recently announced, is it season 10's coming? It is season 10, and with season 10, they are making sort of single, like, private PvE servers. Now, you can't do everything the game has to offer in these, unfortunately. And they are reduced rewards. However, I can't wait to play on them, just to do all the tall tales in peace and harmony. Go pillaging for tons and tons of like you can do all of the, what are they called? Like where you're on the island and you're fighting the waves of zombies, and there's the boss, then you get the treasure chest at the end, and like the treasure room at the end. I don't care that I may get less money from them, because I don't have to worry about losing it all, or it's like, yeah, I might only get 30%, but I can literally fill my ship to the brim. Like, I can keep stocking it up and stocking it up and stocking it up, and know for a fact that I can then go and chuck that into a trader to sell it all, and I'll make more than I would have made anyway. Do you know what I mean? Because
you're not going to lose it all. Like, there's just no chance of it, unless you're stupid and somehow like your ship gets sunk by something else. But that's not really going to happen most of the time.
No, exactly. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I saw a lot of people on Twitter and stuff moaning, all those ones that literally just like to grief other players. It's called Sea of Thieves, not Sea of Friends. You need to get good. They'll never be good at the game if they play PV servers. And I'm like, shut the F up. Like, we literally have been asking for a private servers for ages. I'm disappointed they've made it so limited in terms.
Yeah,
I bet this is going to bring so many players in, because I literally, the day they announced that, I looked on my friends list on Twitter, about 20 people said, oh, I'm finally going to go back to play Sea of Thieves again now, because I don't have to worry about being griefed all the time. So
yeah, like I have to say, like 30% is a little bit much. Like, if it was like, we're gonna decrease it by 30%, whereas you get 70%, then it's okay, like even 50%. But like 30% is like a little bit too much in my opinion. But like I said,
the people saying that it's still too much. It's like, what can you get in Sea of Thieves? You can't get any upgrades. You literally can't do anything. Do you know what I mean? You can.
Well, now you can outfit your ship and stuff. So
you can't really, because you're not allowed to own your own ship on the private server. So you can't use that on.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
On like upgrading your own pirate ship. I mean, I suppose the money will go over to your other if you play on a public server afterwards.
Yeah, I hope so.
But still, I'm just like, why does it matter? Like, let people play the game and enjoy it.
Yeah, I really don't understand that whole like why? Yeah, like why even put that restriction on in the first place? Like, there's no, like, the money the gold that you get from these missions doesn't impact gameplay whatsoever. It's not like you'll get better weapons or you'll get better like armor. There's no armor or weapons in the game that give you stats. So like, why does it matter? Like, why is there a restriction? You know, just because you don't want to be griefed, like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and like I say, I think Sea of Thieves is a fantastic game. Probably one of Rare's best. I'll put my hands up. Apart from the Donkey Kong Country games, I think it's one of their best. And the fact that it's had so many updates and stuff like that, that it's just spoiled by other players.
Yeah, no, but I think they'll walk back that decision once they see how many people they get like jump on the game and how many people they actually see using those private servers. Yeah. Like, you know what? Maybe this is something. Maybe all those people shouldn't be
saying they wanted PvP though, right? You weren't playing arena mode, so they got rid of it. You all said it's all about PvP. They gave you a proper PvP experience where you can be as a massive bumhole to everyone. Like, you can be the worst player, you can grief them, and that's the whole point of the game, right? And none of you played it, so I think you're all liars.
They didn't want PvP. They wanted to be assholes.
Yeah, that's it. That's literally it. But yeah, shout out
to... You want to ruin someone's day,
Shout out to BMG who has turned up. Hope you're doing all right, mate. I know you've had like a massive, like, all day long work sesh. I mean, mate, you work too long. You work too much.
I think BMG being a gigolo has to be exhausting. It has to be exhausting.
He's doing like 21-hour shifts, isn't it? He just works non-stop. Yeah. Bless you, mate.
It's like he spends more time working than he does wearing clothes. It's ridiculous.
It is. It's crazy. And also shout out to Muppet and Thimber and stuff in chat. If you are liking this show, hit that like button, guys. and share it out on social medias. Let people know we are live. It's always nice when more people tune in to watch us chat about games. What do you guys in chat think of the Sea of Thieves changes? Like, are you all up for the PvE side of it? Are you more excited for that than PvP? Are you going to come back to the game if you've ever stopped? And also, what do you think of the Secret of Monkey Island DLC updates? I haven't played the third one. Now, I spoke to Fabio about this literally an hour or two ago. He can't play at the weekend, but he said he'd be up to playing like early next week, Monday, Tuesday. So if you guys want to see us stream it, like we've streamed the last two, let me know, and I will organise it with Fabio, and we'll do like a stream of part 3 as well. Have you played Sea of Thieves, Sentinel? I know I haven't played it with you, but have you actually played the game at all?
I think very briefly when it very first came out, like years ago.
It's a different game now. Bloody hell.
Yeah, now that it has PvE, I'm likely to come back just because that PvP nonsense. Too many toxic people, online.
I'm not saying the PvP is bad. Like, Slayer, you've probably been on the games where we've had some of the best times in the game fighting other people, but then also like random stuff happening. Like, we've been fighting someone and then a Kraken kills them, and we've had a right laugh. And we've had that when we did that glitter beard when there was other people involved when they weren't griefing us. But that's a lower percentage than the.
Yeah, like we've actually made some nice connections. Like, we've played the game and we've made some nice friends. I mean, like when we did that Legend of the Glitter Beard thing, that was really random. That wasn't planned and it was awesome. Like, we had some great times on there, but like I just don't understand. Like, they don't really even have to do this whole private server thing. And I've said this before on this show, I think last time I was here. Like, literally they could solve this problem if they just take a page from Fallout 76's book and just make it so that you have to enable PvP if you want to, interact with it. Like, why isn't it just like a toggle feature? Like, if I don't want to be randomly attacked by a random player and get my shit stolen, then I don't want to have to do that.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah.
And it's not like I'm opposed to multiplayer. I mean, it's like I maxed out my Battlefield 4 rank, 140 for both PlayStation and Xbox. So I'm used to that, PvP competition and all that. But it's like with certain types of games, like with Sea of Thieves, it was always kind of my feeling like Slayer said, make it optional. Don't make it mandatory. Give us the choice whether we want that type of experience or not. Don't say, hey, this is all you're getting.
Yeah, 100%. And then don't use the excuse that it's for our benefit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like why is it choice? Like, the mainstay of like video games, like especially with online games, like just give us choice, like that's all we want.
People don't like that though. Look at when they've offered to put like accessibility and easy modes into like Souls games, and people had a little cry about it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When actually, like
I don't understand.
Why does it hurt you? You can still finish the game in hard mode and like act like you are the best thing since sliced bread. That's great. But I hate Souls games. I hate the slow plod of Souls games to the point that I just never want to play them. But knowing there's a way I could at least experience the story and play them to the end, I'd be much more interested. It's just very odd.
It's that should be honestly like I said, in every game you should just have like choice, like those options should just be there for everything, for everybody. Because we're not all, we don't have all the we don't have time. We don't all have the time in our day to like, be able to like think in 100 plus hours into a game if let's say if it's difficult or whatever, like, like and some of us don't also, can't tackle certain genres like you said, like Souls games. Like me, I kind of have the same relationship with those games. Like I'm not I'm not terrible at them, but sometimes they piss me off, and sometimes I'm just like,
exactly.
what, I would just rather like. I remember this one time I was watching my friend, I think he was streaming Sekiro, and he was fighting this boss. Like, it was this samurai lord on like top of this like really big mansion or like this tower, and like I probably watched it for like 2 hours, and he was trying that fight over and over again in those 2 hours, and I was just like, man, like if only there was like like some kind of button you could hit and be like, you know what, just make this a little easier for me, like I don't want to spend this much time trying to do this over and over again. It just gets frustrating. Like I was frustrated for him.
Yeah.
Something that Elden Ring did that was good was allow other people to help you out.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, the Souls games did that too. It's just I think Sekiro was more of a single player game, but still, but that choice should still be there. Like if I forget what game it was, but there's certain games that like if let's say they notice that like you're trying over and over to like beat a certain boss, it like a prompt comes up saying like, hey, do you maybe want to like make this a little easier, like maybe lower the difficulty or whatever. Like that should just be a thing. That should be normal. That should be normed. I don't understand why it's not.
I remember seeing that in Metal Gear Solid 5. Like if you die repeatedly, it'll ask you if you want to lower the difficulty.
I think more games should. And I don't get why people are against it. Do you know what I mean? It baffles me. I think it's silly, absolute nonsense, just from stupid fanboys to try and say that it ruins a game. It doesn't. Everyone plays differently.
Right. Exactly. Just like let more people enjoy games. Like what the hell? What's the problem with that? I don't understand.
Because they only want a certain caliber of gamer to be able to play this game, and they're basically like good. And it's like some of us have to work a lot. Some of us have real world responsibilities. We don't have, like you said, tons of hours to sink into getting good on a game. It's like we want to experience the journey and the story that those games are trying to tell, but I don't have the time to sink into that to become great at a super difficult game. I just don't.
Yeah, exactly. As much as we'd like to, we've got lives, some of us. So let us just play it so we can say, at least join in the conversation when it happens. Do you know what I mean? About the game. We can, I got to the end of that. It's all good.
No, and it's not like Grand Theft Auto, which doesn't have difficulty levels, because that's not overly difficult, and there's a way you can overcome that. Some people are like, oh, work on your reflexes and this and that, and I'm like, yeah, but not everyone is going to have the necessary reflexes. You could play it for 20 hours on one boss fight and never get past it. But you have games that don't have a difficulty level, like I said, like Grand Theft Auto games. There's always a way, there's a strategy to, that's accessible pretty much to a lot of people without having to water it down. That works for them, but for the games that go out of their way to be more difficult, should there be a difficulty level? I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to have that.
Thimber says he played Sea of Thieves and he couldn't leave the port. Muppet said he played Sea of Thieves for about an hour and it's not really for him. BMG says you should play Destiny 2. It's the best live service game on the planet. No, it's not. Don't lie. He's just salty. He's got to try and cover up that Jim Ryan spaced gaping wound now he's got.
I think Destiny 2 is the best live service game that PlayStation has. I don't think it's the best one on the planet.
Oh,
I know. If he was on the show, he'd be like, "You take that back." Yeah. Well, you're not on the show this week, so you can't say that, BMG.
Right. So we're gonna move on. So Sentinel, tell us about our second Spotlight game, which is one you want to talk more about. You've put a fair bit of hours into this game, from what I can tell now, and we talked about this on our first ever episode, but at the time I think we'd only ended up having like very limited time. So
chainsaw, yes.
Yeah. Oh, hey, you love a bit of lollipop chainsaw, don't? I lie, you don't.
Right. No, not really.
Go on then. So tell us about Starfield and how you're finding Starfield in the state it's in with the amount of time you've played and stuff like that.
I have. It's like I started a new playthrough after completing New Game Plus because I was kind of pissed off that they take everything away from you. Spoilers, sorry. But then I had a glitch in that game where the little, and I've seen other people posting this on Twitter. Oh, I have a little asteroid following me around everywhere I go. I think that's kind of a visual indicator that save is glitched, and you're gonna have issues with it. So there are glaring issues with this game for them to say that, oh, this is the most bug-free game we've ever launched. I mean, that could be true coming from Bethesda, but other studios, I think they'd get fired having this many bugs. But again, Bethesda has a reputation, so it's not that big of a surprise. Outside of the bugs and glitches that are obvious and that are all over social media right now, I think it's a lot of fun. Yes, some of it is repetition. I don't know how many clips bases I've gone to that are identical to others. The layout is exactly the same. It's basically like they had 20 building complexes, and they're like, all right, we're gonna put them in different side missions. Basically, go here, kill this pirate and all his crew. You get this XP, you get some money, and then you can focus on the main quests, right? And it's fine, it's repetition, whatever, it happens. Every single game will have repetition shit. You look at Spider-Man. Spider-Man has a lot of repetition, but a lot of people are like, oh no, it doesn't. Don't pay attention to that. Well, I'm sorry, it does. And that's coming from someone who platinumed Spider-Man. I loved it so much that I platinumed it, but it's still repetition. Starfield is the same way. It has repetition. Yes, that sucks. But outside of that, there's a lot that Starfield doesn't tell you. It kind of pisses me off. Because there's a lot that because like they never really tell you in the game how to set up your outpost or anything. What I think would be great is if they took a character who's in Starfield like Barrett, and they said, hey, you know what, we need resources for this mission, so we're going to go over here and I'm going to walk you through everything you need to establish an outpost. Boom, that would be perfect. Because there's a lot to establishing these outposts that, this is like my third or fourth playthrough. I still don't have an outpost set up just because it's kind of complex, and it's like you have to read walkthroughs online about how to set this stuff up. That's how complicated it is. It's a pain in the ass. And modding your ship, everyone's like, oh, you can mod your ship and have it big. Not if you don't unlock certain skill sets. And again, they don't tell you this. So there's a lot that the game doesn't tell you that's aggravating, and you learn a lot of this when you do play through it, but some of it you don't. So I kind of feel like Starfield is great, but there's stuff that they should have put in it that they didn't, to explain some of this stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. I haven't played it anywhere near as much as you guys. I just I haven't got the time to fit in for it at the moment because there's so much coming out. Like, I've got a backlog of stuff I want to play through for review videos and stuff and streams. And then there's Assassin's Creed out at the end of this coming week.
Yes.
So it's a hectic time to...
Yeah. I pre-ordered Assassin's Creed Mirage and I'm looking forward to it. So I'm kind of like, shit, anything I need to do in Starfield, I need to finish it up before Assassin's Creed Mirage comes out. And then there's Forza Motorsport. Oh, it's going to be so crowded.
See, I'm not fussed about Forza Motorsport. I'm not a big sim racing fan. I find them a bit boring. I'll play it just to enjoy it for a little bit, but that's the joy of Game Pass. I don't have to buy it outright, spend that 70 quid for something I'm not super fussed about. But Assassin's Creed, and there's so much coming out in October. I mean, we've literally
October and beyond. What do you mean?
Yeah, but just October alone. Game releases.
Got Alan Wake 2. You have Assassin's Creed. There's a lot.
Just trying to get a list up in front of me.
Yeah, the new RoboCop game actually got delayed to November, like the first week of November.
Yeah, there's Honkai Star Rail coming to PS5. There's
when are the Yakuza games coming to Game Pass?
One is next year, but one soon. I think it might be November though.
Okay.
You've got the new Sonic and the Gargoyles remaster. You've got Super Mario Bros. Wonder. You've got Spider-Man 2. You've got the Metal Gear Solid collection. You've got City Skylines 2. You got Ghost Runner 2, which is amazing. I played Ghost Runner 2 at WASD. Oh my god, that game is fantastic. I cannot wait for that. Alan Wake 2 as well.
I just want to say BMG was so happy when you mentioned Sonic. He absolutely loves
He did.
Sonic.
I can't wait to play that new Sonic game.
Right? Me too.
It's going to be 4-player co-op as well, which is awesome. So I'm looking forward to
Nice.
that. And then we move into November, and that's just as stacked as well. So it's just madness. I just don't get how we're ever supposed to fit it all in. To be fair, it's crazy, absolutely crazy why they're all releasing them all at once.
It's impossible.
Yeah,
it's just nuts. Absolutely.
You know
crazy.
what though? You know what helps us though is Assassin's Creed Mirage isn't going to be bloated like Valhalla was. They
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I can literally just play it for like a week and I'll be done with it. But I've got Ubisoft
hours?
Plus, so I think it'll be about 40 odd hours, 40, 45, 50 hours, and I'll be happy.
It's a good size, yeah.
So, but yeah, like I say, for me, that's all I need. I don't need any more. I loved Valhalla, and I still love Valhalla. I'm probably going to go back and play a bit of Valhalla this week to get me in the mood for Assassin's Creed again. But I also I'm looking forward to not having to put that 200 hours into a game. I just don't have the time anymore to put 200 hours into games. It's just crazy.
Hey,
so
did you pick up that new Cyberpunk expansion?
I haven't even played Cyberpunk yet. I've bought Cyberpunk, waiting for this new update, but I haven't had time to play it yet because there's so much out. So I'll get to that.
Yeah.
It's, who knows when? Maybe over my Christmas holidays or something. So it's mad. So who knows?
You know, it always makes me wonder why they couldn't release all these games like during the first half of the year when there's not that many games out. So they're not competing against each other, you know?
Yeah, it's weird why they thought this is a good month to release everything. So
yeah. And it's like that every single year, like September, October, November, December is like when they release like 80% of the games for the year. And it's like, and you complain because you didn't meet the sales numbers. It's like because people are having to choose between 15 games.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? It's like I can't. It's like even if I had a good year, I can't afford to buy 15 games all within the span of 90 days. That's ridiculous, you know. But if you spread it out throughout 12 months, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. It just baffles me. Someone could release a game in January and it do gangbusters because there's nothing there. Do you know what I mean? So
Dead Island 2 did.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. It just absolutely baffles me.
Although I feel ashamed, I haven't finished Dead Island 2 yet. It's a great game. I had a lot of fun with it, but just so much stuff came out and I got sidetracked.
Oh, I just can't even sit and play one game half at a time. There's that much coming out.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my god, what is going on here? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I played Resident Evil 4, the remake. I pre-ordered that. You know, I loved Resident Evil 4, and I played it 3 times, back to back to back. And after that, I was just like, oh, I'm so tired of this shit. I couldn't play it anymore, you know? But it's a good game. It's just, you know, it gets exhausting playing the same game over and over again, you know?
Yeah, tell me about it. It's just impossible, and I just don't know how we can to do it. Do you know what I mean? I just don't get how we're supposed to keep on top. But hey, what do I know? What do I know?
Well, and then you have games like Dead Space and Jedi Survivor, and you're tempted to buy them, but you're like, I know they're going to come to Game Pass next year, and I just don't have the time for them. So
I'm now waiting for sales because there's no point me buying them new because I'm not going to get my money's worth out of them. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, and you know what? It's like I was gonna buy Gotham Knights, but then they're like, oh, it's coming to PlayStation Plus, and I'm like, well, I subscribe to PlayStation Plus, so why would I buy it? No.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's just absolutely crazy, isn't it? So
yeah.
Madness. Never gonna have enough time to play all the games. There's just so many. So many.
Oh, I know. Definitely.
And I just keep picking more little silly games up. I've done that recently. And there's stuff come out this week. I've got Super Box Delivery Beyond the Horizon because why not? That looks amazing on Xbox. So pick that up.
You should be like BMG and just pick 3 games: Marvel Snap, Destiny 2, and that new Sonic game.
I couldn't do it. I get bored. Do you know what? I'm one of those people that gets bored of games quite quickly. Like I like playing a game regularly, but I couldn't play the same multiplayer game every night. Like, those people that just play COD or FIFA or something like that. I need a bit of variety. I get bored playing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over. I could never, like, apart from MMOs, there's like MMOs I can do because you're sort of doing different things all the time in different areas, but playing the same shooter maps and stuff like that, I'm just like, nah.
And then like I kind of feel for like the Modern Warfare 3 crowd, for those people that are into Call of Duty, because it feels like the Call of Duty brand is just so crap right now. It's like it's in the worst place it's been in, because it's like I pre-ordered Modern Warfare 2, I played some of the multiplayer, and it was so crap compared to Modern Warfare 2019. I was just like, I can't believe I bought this. I immediately had buyer's remorse. And that's not saying the studio isn't talented, but it feels like that's where the brand is right now. Like Medal of Honor needs to come back or something, because Call of Duty's pretty much run its course. And I know Medal of Honor belongs to EA, but it's just like, Activision doesn't have anything else, so maybe they need to shelve Call of Duty for a while, or I don't know, go with one of these spin-offs or something they have, because it feels like the mainline brand is just, it's tired. It's just, that's what it feels like to me. That's what it feels like to me. But I've seen that sentiment online from other people as well. So.
Yeah. And no, Finbar, I haven't got that Love Ku Tiuso or whatever game yet. I'm going to email them and ask for a code if they'll give us a review code. But I've got one other game. I've already got a review code. And I tend to, when I get a code from a company, I don't like to ask for another code till I've sort of done the last one. I feel it's a bit rude. So once I've uploaded that review video next week, I'll ask for a copy then. And if they don't send me one, I'll probably pick it up cheap one day and play it anyway. But I got loads of stuff. I'm trying to play more of the new games. I want to do a review for that Disney Speedstorm. I've picked up Shark because that's just funny that it was supposed to be on the Intellivision Amico as an exclusive, and here it is on Xbox, because that went down the pan, didn't it? So I've got loads of stuff, loads of cool games to play, loads of stuff. Like there's a new My Hero 24-player Battle Royale game come out for free. I want to play that. Sounds good.
Dinber, just to put things in perspective, Ash goes on social media and he makes a post. He says, I am willing to accept 3 copies of your games for review, and his inbox gets flooded with like 10,000 offers from all these different development studios. He's so well known, he gets tons of offers.
I wish. I say that right. Like I don't want to like. I will try and play everything unless it's something I really don't want to play. Like I have turned down a few puzzle games that I like. Put the type of puzzles I don't want to play. So an odd couple of games, but I do try and play whatever's offered to us. But like I say, I think right now I'm in like I have like a loop of games that I've got for streaming and reviews. I've probably got about 30 I'm working through right now. Like,
oh Jesus!
Just and I'm not saying I'm playing them all right now. I've probably got about 10 of them I've already played and recorded. I just have to do the videos for, but it takes time. And this last week I've been very busy with work, so I haven't been streaming as much and that. So yeah, there's you. Like I say, I tend to pump out a couple a day, and I haven't done any for like a week nearly. So there will be more coming. I've got loads of cool stuff to do videos of, and then we've had issues like we couldn't do Payday 3 because it didn't work. I've got one I'm going to talk about in a minute though that I have been playing. I did a review for the Bridge Curse as well, and that's on the website. I do some for the website as well, so you can check the website out for like written stuff that doesn't always make it onto YouTube as well. So, but I like I say, if a company wants me to try their game out and cover it, I'm more than happy to. So if you're an indie dev, you're a AAA dev, get in touch. But yeah, like I got turned down for that new Dragon Quest game. I think I mentioned it last week on the show. They turned me down. And then on release day, I got an email in the morning like, oh, here's your copy. I was like, oh, fantastic. Happy days for me. So, but then that's a big game that I've got to spend a lot of time playing and stuff like that compared to some of the sort of smaller ones that I can play. Like some games you can play 3 a day if they're small. They're a couple of hours at a time. You can get 2 or 3 in a night. But yeah, it's there's just so much coming out, and I'm trying to keep on top of it. But you have a couple of days off, and then it just hits you like a bus if you miss a few days in the world of content creation and streaming and stuff like that. It's not easy, but yeah, I love covering games. I love doing stuff. It's just I've been enjoying doing a bit of streaming this last week. So if anyone wants to see the sort of streams I've been doing, jump on. I played all sorts. I played like that Paw Patrol, and I played one last night called Bloodhound, which was like an awesome like old school Doom FPS style shooter game.
I saw that.
I had to pixelate out the boobies in it because I didn't want YouTube to slap my video down, but it has a non-nudity version, so it like pixelates over them like the old GTA games in The Sims when they go in the shower and stuff like that.
We apologize, Timber. We apologize.
But there's loads. Like I say, I'll give you a hint. Like I'm going to be doing some reviews. I've got Better Miss, that's just come out. Slaps and Beans 2. The Many Pieces of Mr. Coup. Heavy Duty Challenge. That looks quite up my alley. Another Crusade. The Making of Karateka. Or Karateka. I can never remember how you pronounce it. That's really cool. That's a really cool remaster collection. That's like a library of like treasure trove, like a museum to the game. And then they've also added like multiple versions of the game in on different systems, which is really cool. So if you're into your retro games, I recommend that one. And then I've also got Daymare, the new Daymare 1994 Sandcastle that I've been holding off doing till this month because it's October. I wanted to do it for Halloween, so that is coming super soon. But yeah, loads. I could go on for ages about all the stuff I could possibly be doing. Never stops in this place, I tell you. Oh, have you played Starfield then, Slayer? Let's get back on topic a little bit.
No, actually not, because I've other than playing Sea of Thieves and trying to finish off the Monkey Island DLC, I've kind of been playing trying to finish off Assassin's Creed Valhalla, because I finished the base game like a while back, but I never played any of the DLC. So I've kind of been doing that in preparation of the new Assassin's Creed game that's coming out, Mirage, which I'm super excited to play. And I figured like I definitely wanted to try out Starfield, but then like I know how long those games are. It's a Bethesda game, so it's going to be like 150 plus hours. And I just recently finished Hogwarts Legacy over the summer, which that took a good chunk of out of my time, like especially because of work and stuff. I think that game took me like about 80 hours to complete, and it was freaking awesome. But yeah, I was like, I wasn't really ready to commit to another long ass game like that. So it looks awesome though. I've seen some good stuff about it, and I can't wait to play it. But it's gonna be a while because right now, other than Assassin's Creed, I definitely want to play Alan Wake 2, kind of like just to get into the spirit of Halloween and stuff for October. And then there's a lot of other games that are coming out. There's actually one game that I'm really excited to play. It's coming out like I think it got delayed. And I can't remember the name of it right now, but it actually got pushed back. It's made by Don't Nod, the same developers behind the original Life is Strange.
Where you've got like a ghost companion with you.
Yes.
I can't remember what it's called, but
amazing.
It looks great. Yeah. Don't Nod always do great games. Always do them.
Yeah, it's what is it called? Damn. Let me see.
Yeah, it's just been pushed. I think it's pushed to November, isn't it?
Banishers, Ghost of New Eden.
Thank you, Timber.
Mm-hmm. That game looks amazing. I can't wait to play that game.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely. Right, so we're going to go on to the third spotlight, and then we'll jump into a little bit of news. So this is one I've been playing, and I've been quite enjoying it. So this is called Terraformers. Now, this game came out on PC earlier this year, sort of March time. It's developed by Asteroid Lab. It's now been ported over to consoles by Collaborator, who were kind of to send me a copy for this review. it was released on the 26th of September, so it literally came out this past week. And now this is a sort of turn-based colony builder and resource management game with a little bit of roguelite elements thrown in for good measure. Now, if he says, being the word in question, if OBS will be nice and let me put the trailer on the screen, I will do it for you so you can see it. So just bear with me. So it's got a very sort of simplistic art style. Like it looks very much like hand drawn in terms of it's not like 3D worlds or anything like that. It's very artsy, sort of like you can see on the screen right now. It has like 3D models on like hand drawn backgrounds and stuff. It kind of plays like Civilization without the combat, in terms of like you expand over the world. You're doing your resource management and everything like that, but you don't have like wars against other people, so you don't have to worry about someone like coming in from behind and absolutely wrecking you, which is really nice. And it's a bit of a chill game. It's a lot more slow paced and stuff like that. But I really enjoyed it. It's one of those games that I don't play a lot of, but when I do like to play it for quite a while. So this, like I say, and it's not super expensive either. It came out, I'm just trying to get it up in front of me now on Xbox, but you know when you're trying to find something, you can never find it. So on Xbox, it's priced at £20.99 normally, but it's currently got a launch deal on that ends in a couple of days' time, and you get 10% off, so you can pick it up for £18.89 in the UK, or you can pick up the supporters edition, which is £24.99 normally, or £22.49 in this launch sale, and that comes with a supporters pack included. Now, the supporters pack basically comes with a load of stuff in it, so I'm just trying to get it up to see what it contains. It contains a digital art book as well as the game soundtrack that you can listen to. So if you're into like your relaxing sort of space music, this one has like 18 tracks from the game, plus a digital art book to work your way through and read and everything on your Xbox. So it's quite good. It's not perfect. It's a little finicky in some places. The UI is a bit tricky on a controller because it's clearly a PC game that's been ported over to Xbox. But I like the setting. I like the sort of the art style of the game and everything like that. And I just like how it sort of builds up in front of you. It's not like crazy 3D in that sense. So for me, it's worth checking out for those people that like your sort of resource management and stuff like that. So you can like send people off to different locations to find resources and new environments and stuff like that. You can obviously build up your different cities to grow them and everything. So far, like I say, and some of the Collaborator games I've played have been a little buggy. I believe they were the publisher of that Moonshine game, and like I said, that was really buggy. Whereas this one, so far, I haven't had a ton of issues with it, so I can't complain too much. Like I say, overall, the gameplay is solid. The visuals, like I say, are simple, but they do the job. And it does sort of mix the different genres together pretty well. So, yeah, and like I said, there's a variety of sort of ways to win, complete the game as well, which is nice. So, if you like your sort of 3X style games, you like roguelikes and sort of Civ games, this is a game I would definitely recommend. I'm assuming you guys haven't played this though.
No. I've played the Moonshine game, and it's interesting you bring that up because like with the Moonshine game, it had a lot wrong with it. So if this game was made by them and it works, I'm happy that they finally learned what they're doing.
This one, like I said, I mean, the way Collaborator is a publisher, so they have a load of different developers, and they basically, Collaborator are a company that port PC games to console. Like, there's tons of them. They do those strategy of war games. They do sort of sim games and stuff like that. And this one, they've done a much better job. The UI is much more console friendly. It's not perfect. Do you know what I mean? Like I say, it definitely has more of like they've made it look like a mobile game in terms of the UI, so it works better on console than some of their other games because sometimes the menu systems are like overly long, they're complicated to use, you end up having to go through like 4 different menus just to switch something on. Do you know what I mean? Whereas this one, it's definitely very functional and much easier to use. It's still a bit busy, like it's still not perfect, but I don't think you can ever truly port these type of games to console and to use a pad when you would normally use like a full keyboard. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, that makes sense.
Is it perfect? No, not by far. But this is like a $20 game, 20 quid game. You're going to get tons of hours out of it. It's really good, like I say, in that terms of like the amount of content you'll get and the amount of timeline it'll take to do. I just like building up like colonies and stuff like that. I'm not fussed about fighting all the time and wars and all that. Like, you know, in Civ's fun, but you spend more time trying to think 3 steps ahead, like playing Risk. Like, I need to do something here to do something else. Whereas this one, it's more like focus on using your resources to build up your outposts and expand and stuff like that. So it's really good in that aspect. So I highly recommend people check it out. Watch some videos online and stuff like that if you're interested in it. But I think one of their better games in recent years that I played from Clabberter, like in terms of how it plays. Yeah, it's a little slow at the beginning, but like these sort of games, it definitely builds up. Plus, it also allows you to have shorter games. You don't have to play for hours and hours and hours and hours. There are different like win scenarios, so you can definitely sort of choose to play a shorter one depending on your needs. So pick a scenario that works for you. So they sort of go from like an hour and a half to up to sort of like 4 or so hours, depending on which scenario you want to play through. I mean, can't go wrong at that for that price, if it's your type of game. However, if you don't like these type of games, you don't like slow turn-based sort of chill civilization style builders, maybe give this one a miss. Also, big shout out to Charlie Hustle as well in the chat. Thank you for joining us. Always nice to see a variety of faces in chat. So, guys, hey, we got through the 3 Spotlight games in a semi-decent time. So let's just quickly talk about a few bits of news. Obviously, there's the big old elephant in the room.
Oh no, BMG is gonna start crying. You got to take it easy.
Yeah, we'll not go into it too much. It's live, but Jim Ryan, CEO of PlayStation, has announced he's going to be retiring in March next year. We're not going to get into like all the way the fanboys have gone crazy online and stuff like this because there's no need for it. He said it's because of travel, and I don't blame him. He travels all over the world except to CMA hearings and stuff like that. But he does travel all over the world all the time. He is getting on. He's been at PlayStation 30 years, and we wish him well in the future. It'll be a big change. I think this is the era where PlayStation sees some big changes, though, because when a new CEO comes in, there's new sort of philosophies, there's new priorities. So I'm going to be very interested to see what happens with PlayStation. Like, they're currently in this phase going towards live subscription models and all that sort of stuff. Will that continue? Will they scrap that when someone new comes in? I'm not sure.
You know, I kind of feel like this past year has been pretty rough on him, mentally.
Yeah.
And it's like if he would have won, if the deal would have been blocked, if all these things would have panned out for PlayStation, then he would have felt like it was worth sticking around. Worth dealing with all the travel and all this other stuff. But probably after all of this debacle and everything happened, he woke up one morning, probably looked at himself in the mirror and just said, is this really worth it? And he was like, no. He's like, I'm done. And that's probably why he left, like you said, because of the travel. But it's just like Phil Spencer has to travel a lot, but he a lot of what he's doing is working.
Yeah.
So he feels like there's the travel there that he has to deal with, but it's worth the effort. But with, like I said, with Jim Ryan, all of his efforts trying to block this deal, it failed, and other things that PlayStation has had to deal with this year, he's just like, it's not worth it. And I completely get it. I would be the same way. You know, that's not a dig at PlayStation. That's just saying, you know, ultimately you have to ask whether having to travel that much, whether having to basically live out of a suitcase is worth the effort. And if it's not, then you just say, you know what, I'm just going to go home.
We've got to say though, PlayStation is flying high though still at the moment. Like its sales are through the roof.
They're not flying high because of him. Everyone is like, oh, they're doing great because of him, and I'm like, that's not true. Because it's like with gaming, their momentum is building and building and building from the Sean Layden years. And that's not saying Jim Ryan wasn't working somewhere behind the scenes contributing. I'm sure he was if he worked there 30 years. But the reason why they built up so much momentum during the PlayStation 4 generation is because at the start of the PS3 generation, they were fighting against, you know, they basically were at a disadvantage. They righted the ship. So at the start of the PS4 generation, Don Matrick dropped the ball. They picked it up and ran for a touchdown with it. And that's why they had so much momentum going into the PS5 generation, was because of the PS4 generation. So people can say, "Oh, Jim Ryan was," and I'm like, "No, that's not true." Because if Jim Ryan had said, "You know what, we're bringing back Twisted Metal, and we're bringing back SOCOM, and we're bringing back Infamous and Resistance, and it's easier than ever to get refunds," and if they had showcases where they showed all these games that people really wanted, rather than a movie trailer and this other stuff, then I would say absolutely, yeah, he's, you know, he is 100% responsible for this shit, but he's not. He was just there riding on the successes of someone who came before him, who really built up the momentum. Again, they learned from their mistakes, but the only way a company like this survives is they fuck up and they learn from it. You know, Xbox learned from it. That's why we're seeing Game Pass and all this other stuff get so much more momentum, because during the Xbox One generation, they made a lot of mistakes, but they learned from them. You know, and both of these console makers have made mistakes, but it's learning from them that helps them grow. So is the PlayStation 5 success because of Jim Ryan? No, absolutely not. Not in a million years. But him dropping the ball and putting PlayStation where people are now like, oh, what the hell, because they caught him with a number of lies. Is that actually going to improve the brand? Yeah, ironically it is. Because now they have to right the ship and they have to get PlayStation back in fighting shape. That's my take on the whole situation.
What about you, Slayer? What do you think about the whole Jim Ryan?
I think it's about time he hit the hay.
Yeah.
He was just, I don't know, man. He was just a nuisance. Like, you know, like, and I'm not saying like, you know, we get it. Like we want to like think that, you know, like, oh, you know, like there's certain CEOs that you know that like care for consumers or whatever. And yeah, maybe that may be true to some extent, but like, I don't know, man. I think Jim Ryan was just a plague to PlayStation. Like he just made so many bad decisions. Like, I mean, isn't he the one that's like trying to like, or at least like I'm sure there's other execs in Sony who are like on this hype train too, but I feel like he's the main one that's like, you know, all about live service games, and he's the one who's trying to push like Sony to have like 10 more live service games or something like that, and they're like, you know, utilizing Bungie to that extent, like, you know, trying to like really use their expertise with what they did with Destiny 2, which, you know, I'm not a fan of. Like, I've never really enjoyed that game. Not because of like the microtransactions or anything like that. It just wasn't for me. But you know, I've heard the state of the game is like pretty bad now. So I'm kind of glad that I'm not really into that game, because that would kind of just crush my soul. But yeah, like that whole push to microtransactions and like those live service games is, I don't understand. Like, you know, why companies think that that's a good idea. Like, I get it. Like it's a, you know, it's a continuously like, you know, moneymaker for them, but it's just like, just make good games. Just, you know, like look at, like PlayStation has so many good, you know, first party games that just like make them so much money, and like I don't understand why don't they just double down on those, instead of just trying to milk these freaking games that are supposed to last forever. Like, it just doesn't work.
You look at Fortnite and they say, "Hey, let's do that too," and it's like not everybody can do Fortnite.
Exactly, like come on, man. And besides, like we have enough of those games. Like, stop. Just make good single player games. That's all we want.
Yeah, definitely.
True.
Like I know that they're gonna continue making those. Like they're definitely not gonna stop making those. Like they know that that's where there's a market in them too. But like, don't double down on mobile and like and live service games. That's like double down on the other stuff. Like that's I don't know. I just don't understand it. But honestly, good riddance at the end of the day, in my opinion.
And it feels like, Slayer, you're exactly right about how they could double down on a lot of these games, but it feels like some of these franchises they have are almost made for live service, and it was around before live service was a thing. You look at Twisted Metal, you look at SOCOM, you look at Motorstorm. They could technically make a great single player game that also had these live service elements like these where people are going to be playing against each other, but it feels like they're just not utilizing what they have effectively.
Yeah, like that's exactly right. Like you definitely expanded on my point, and I think hit the nail on the head. Like I don't understand, like also like with with Halo. Like Halo was such a great game, and it could have continued being a great game if they didn't double down on like the online side of it. Like just make the games like they did before, and just add like some multiplayer elements to it, and people will be happy. Some people will enjoy for the single player experience, and then there'll be others who will enjoy both the multiplayer and single player, and then there'll just be people who just enjoy the multiplayer. Like, I don't understand why there's like this. It's just there's got to be this like border, like this gap between like, okay, we are only gonna make a live service multiplayer game, or we're only gonna make a really great single player game. Like I understand, the like maybe there's like a little bit of, oh, like I'm worried that we don't want to like split our resources, but like still, then just have a clear vision for your game. Like, perfect example, I'm sure you guys have heard these stories and have seen all these videos about Baldur's Gate 3. Amazing game, insane success, right? And why? It doesn't have microtransactions. It's not a live service game. It has multiplayer, but it doesn't have online multiplayer like like competitive. It doesn't have any recurring live service aspect to it at whatsoever, and it's a runaway success. And why is that? Because it's a great game made by people who wanted to make a great game, and they had a clear vision for their game, and they just they stuck to what they thought was right, and that's all you need at the end of the day. And you can make money off of it. It doesn't have to be like, you don't have to chase a trend just to be a runaway success. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, completely agree.
Which it'd be interesting to see how it all goes, though. Like in the coming, I don't want to say months, but probably years. Do you know what I mean? So we'll have to just keep an eye on it. It could go totally. It could be the right call. It could be the absolute wrong call. So
exactly, we won't know until we see it.
So a few other things. I just want to say, I said that thingy was coming out. Cities Skyline 2 was coming out this month. It's not. It's been delayed. It's not in October now. It's coming out in 2024. So apologies if you heard that earlier. I just totally not seen the cancellation until I just looked.
Well, the PC version is still coming out though.
The PC version is, but the console version isn't now though. So, and I'll be waiting for the console one. So.
Oh, okay.
So this weekend's free-to-play days for Xbox is a very sort of I want to say sports-related. It's got Riders Republic, Shredders, and Ed Zero Zombie Uprising. So you can play them for free from 28th September to the 2nd of October, as long as you've got a Game Pass Core or Ultimate subscription. One other thing we've got to talk about this week, there's been an absolute smorgasbord of firings across the industry, the gaming industry. So Epic Games laid off almost 900 employees in one day, and then laid off even more the next day. I saw something on socials today where someone who didn't get laid off when everyone else did got an email the next day saying, "Oh, sorry, we forgot about you, so you're getting fired today." So,
whoa, that's rough.
Yeah, they fired a few people that they just fell through the cracks and forgot about, basically.
Reading the room is what they're doing. That's all they're doing. These tech companies right now, they're just they see times are getting tough, so they're like, let's cut everyone that we don't absolutely need, and it sucks because these people are depending on that, and they need these jobs. They all have families, but you know,
16% of its staff it's laid off. Apparently, they've been spending more money than they earn because of slow Fortnite growth. But that's what happens when you stick all your eggs in one basket. Activision did the exact same thing with Call of Duty. You put everything into one franchise.
You know what? It's like I
have teenagers
that play Fortnite, but 95% of their time they play the Fortnite single player that you could buy way back in the day.
Yeah.
What they should have done is, with all this money they were making, rather than hiring these celebrities and all this stupid shit they were doing, is release single player DLCs. Yeah, people could say, oh, they're milking it with the DLCs. Yeah, but they're making this content. They don't have it yet, right? Have single player DLCs where it's co-op only. It's not PvP, and you're releasing it, and it expands the story and all that stuff. Do that for single player, and then you'll have regular income because people will be buying these because not everyone wants to play PvP all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they completely gave up on that, huh? The single player aspect of it.
Yeah, they did.
Even though, like, that, I remember, like, when I first saw it revealed on E3, it looks so cool, and like I actually played it, a little bit of it, but it was actually not anything like what I remember the trailer being when it was first revealed. It was such a different game.
It's just because they fell down the live service rabbit hole where they're like, let's make everything microtransactions like crazy, and
to be fair, I still think Fortnite do a good job of the live service model, like where they redo the map every season and stuff. I like that. It keeps it fresh.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
It's expensive. They've also announced they're putting the price up of the V-Bucks, which
I saw that the other day. That was
isn't going to be good. So, but yeah, it sucks. It's scummy. Maybe they should, right, pay the devs and stop paying for these free games on Epic Games Store, because no one's buying games on Epic Games Store. They're just literally logging in to get free ones. So instead of spending the millions and millions on that, don't.
Yeah.
And then you could keep your staff and make money. I don't think Epic Games, like, as much as people hate it, Steam has monopolized PC gaming. You literally, you've got GOG, you've got Epic, you've got other places. They're all probably in the single digits in size compared to Steam in terms of sales. Do you know what I mean? It's just silly. And I know they're like, free games, come and use our launcher, but I just don't think it matters. And they're not even the only people that have laid people off. So Sega has also laid people off this week, as well as shutting down its hero-based multiplayer shooter Hyenas, which I'd never even heard about, but it's been made by Creative Assembly, or it was being made by Creative Assembly. And it was a team-based multiplayer shooter that was due to launch towards the end of this year, but they've canned that, and they basically said in a letter to its investors it was expected to record a loss for this financial year, as profitability has been lowered mainly in European bases. And in an attempt to improve profitability, Sega decided to implement structural reforms aimed at increasing efficiency. And it's also cancelled a few unannounced projects as well, which sucks. So if anyone happens to have been let go by Sega, Epic, any of these companies, DM us. I will happily share your stuff all over our socials. I mean, every little helps, right? It sucks. I hope you all find jobs in the gaming industry and get back on your feet soon. Not a time to be losing your job, though, heading towards Christmas, in my opinion. But
yeah, I know this didn't happen this week, I don't think, but rest in peace, Volition, man.
Yeah, it's sad, isn't it? It's It's just a state the gaming industry's in at the moment. And I think there's more coming. I think there's a lot more coming. Like I see Embracer disappearing in the next year. I think they've messed that up royally. So, yeah, we shall see.
Which is a shame because they're the ones that own THQ Nordic, right?
Yes.
And they make some great games. They revives a lot of good IPs that I thought were never going to come back.
It's just a shame that it's. I think they've just. I don't know what they've done. They've got into it with like no proper working plan by the sounds, and they put all their eggs in that one basket, and it all fell through, didn't it?
That's exactly what happened.
Yep. So
I really hope that maybe like Microsoft acquires a lot of those IPs. That'd be great. Because I would really love to see Saints Row get back to its roots.
Yeah, same. I'd whether it ever does or not, I'm not sure. Fimber said one of the Volition folks joined Undead Labs. That's good. And did you watch the Matt McMuscles? What happened to the Saints Row thing? That's really interesting. I highly recommend watching that video.
Oh yeah, like didn't they? There was like some kind of controversy inside the studio where they made some weird decisions, like last minute or something like that.
Probably, yeah. It doesn't surprise me. But
like the main thing that I didn't like about that game was just the cringe that they tried to add. It was for no reason.
Yeah, they tried to like hipster it, and it didn't work well.
Yeah,
and it was just
like
weird.
Why?
Yeah.
There's no need for that. Like just go like you wanted to reboot the game, then go back to number 1, play that one, and see what made that game fun.
I don't even think that. I feel like, do you know the problem they had? They tried to they want new characters so they can keep the franchise going in that. But they just started it from scratch with none of the old characters. They could have kept a couple of them in. So you had that familiarity, but focused on new characters. But they didn't. They just went like totally different, start as fresh, like it doesn't exist.
Yeah, but it was just also weird how they they changed up the gameplay so like completely. Like they kept like the you collect turf, but like it was in such a weird way. Like it was such like I don't know, the original trilogy just made that aspect of it so much cooler than this game did. It was kind of whack.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'll just quickly finish off. It's not really the worst news in the world, but the nicest man in the world, Hideki Kamiya, is announced that he's leaving Platinum Games. If you don't know this man, he's the one that blocks you if you're not Japanese on social media and calls you all insects and bugs if you don't speak Japanese. Not racist at all, but hey.
You gotta learn Japanese, I guess.
But he's leaving Platinum Games on October the 12th, so I'd wish him well, but he wouldn't see it because he'd block us on social media, so whatever.
You gotta use Google Translate, type it in, translate it to Japanese, I guess, yeah.
It's just there's ways to do things. I think that's a bit rude. So
yeah, definitely.
But yeah, overall, it's not been the best week of news for gaming, has it? In terms of people working in gaming, anyway. There's lots of people leaving, lots of people being fired. So let's end this episode on a high. We'll do a 20 questions. Do you want me to pick the game? Because obviously you've told me what your game was going to be, Sentinel.
Right. Yeah. Go ahead.
Right. Give me 2 seconds.
Hold on. No Final Fantasy games, seeing as there's like 34 of them. No.
All right. So Kingdom Hearts is fine.
Oh my God, no. No Kingdom Hearts, no Final Fantasy, no.
I've got one. Okay. Right.
All right.
Let me just get up the Wikipedia on it so I make sure I'm right. Right. So for anyone who doesn't know, and Slayer, because obviously you've not been here, I don't think, for this. At the end of each show, we do 20 questions, and now this is just a little fun game to sort of wind down the episode, have a bit of a laugh. If you don't want to stay for it, thank you very much for watching anyway, and we'll see you next Saturday. But for those that do stay, the aim of the game is the other panelists have to guess the game I'm thinking of. They can only ask questions with yes or no answers to narrow down their sort of decision. They obviously have 20 questions to guess the game. They have to guess it on the 20th question or beforehand, but if they guess incorrectly at any point, they lose. You can't use Google, you can't use browsing, your internet or anything like that. You've got to just use your gaming knowledge. And chat, feel free to get involved, ask questions, chat along, give them suggestions, give them a bit of help. They always need it. And so far in the XPN podcast, it's been a clean streak of getting the answers right. So let's go. Hit me with your questions.
Okay, so this game, did it release from the PlayStation 2 original Xbox generation onward, like to the present?
Yes.
Standing.
Is this an RPG?
No.
Okay. Is it a console exclusive?
No. It is not.
Is it exclusive to a certain platform?
No, it's not. It's not exclusive to any platform. So that's just one question between both of you there. I'll not waste the point.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I think what he was like maybe leaning towards a specific generation. So let me do this. Was it originally released for the Xbox One PS4 generation?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So it's a multi-platform that was released on the Xbox One PS4 generation originally.
And it's not an RPG. 4 questions down.
Did this game have multiplayer?
Yes.
Okay. Is this game a first-person shooter?
No.
Okay.
Come on, chat. Get involved. Give him an hand. You can do it. Come on. Give us some questions.
At one episode, Meisuko helped me out.
He doesn't want to help you, obviously, now.
Yeah. I know,
Was this a racing or driving game?
No.
Okay.
Huh.
Is it a third-person action game?
Yes.
Okay. Hmm.
Come on, give me the questions.
You can go and start because I'm trying to.
All right, it's cool. All right, let me see. It's third-person action, not necessarily a shooting game. All right, so PlayStation 4, Xbox One generation. Was this game published by an American publisher?
No.
Okay, so that means it's either going to be European or Japanese.
That was a good question, Timber.
Canadian.
Timber said in chat. Is this game part of a franchise? That's a good question.
That is a good question. Do you mean a game franchise, Timber? He's going to take a while to announce.
I'll say yes. I'll say game franchise.
No, it's not part of a game franchise.
Oh, okay.
That's 11.
So it's third person, but it's not exclusive. Which, if it was third person and exclusive to PlayStation, I mean, we'd have like 50 titles to pick from, so it'd be difficult.
Yeah, we got to narrow it down way more.
Right. Okay. So it's not. Okay. Was it published by a Japanese company?
Yes.
So that's probably leaning to either Sega
Oh man.
or Capcom.
Yeah, my knowledge on Japanese games is very, very low, so I'm gonna.
But it's third-person action, and it's not an RPG, which also eliminates JRPG.
Yeah.
So, I mean, eliminating JRPG eliminates like 95% of Japanese games. So, because there's like hundreds and hundreds, you know.
Yeah, and it's based on a franchise, but not a game franchise. So.
That would mean a movie franchise, probably.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he didn't say was you.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that, but I just wanted to make sure before I answered.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's not based on a gaming franchise, but it might not be based on any franchise. Period.
Yeah, it's not part of an existing gaming franchise. Like
is it the first? Is it the first
of what a franchise?
Oh, that's kind of
right. Do you know what?
Okay.
It's its own thing. It's not like it's not going to lead to sequels. It's its own thing. It's not like a yearly release. I would say. I'll give you that. I think
okay, so it's not
that's either
part of like a long running IP is what
14,
you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So it's basically a one-off.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay.
Well, as it stands, it's a one-off, but I don't feel like there's been no rumblings it's going to have a sequel or a franchise from it.
How many questions are we at right now?
I think we're on 13, but we might be on for 14.
Okay. Does it involve climbing mechanics?
There is climbing in the game, yes. I wouldn't say it's like the main mechanic of the game.
Is it a survival game?
No. That's 15. 5 to go. Why climbing? Climbing mechanics. I'm curious.
Yeah, it's very
Why climbing?
That's so specific.
I was thinking of a game made by Ninja Theory, but yeah.
Remember, you said published, not developed by Japanese.
Yeah.
I
didn't think Ninja Theory was Japanese. I thought that was American, but
yeah, I think no, Ninja Theory is European, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
I think they're from the UK, I believe, no?
Oh, they might be, or the Netherlands or something like that.
Oh my god. Okay, so it's a Japanese studio. It's not an RPG. Third-person action. It's not survival. It's not an exclusive. It's from the PlayStation 4, Xbox One.
It's from a Japanese publisher, yeah.
Yeah, Japanese publisher.
You haven't asked me if it's a Japanese developer.
Right. Japanese publisher.
It has multiplayer.
Has multiplayer. It was released on the PS4, Xbox One gen.
Okay.
It's third person. It's not RPG.
I mean, that could.
It has some form of climbing in it.
Right. Okay. You said Capcom and Sega, but it could be Namco Bandai Namco, whatever the fuck they're called. Bandai Namco. There you go. It could be them as well. Oh shit.
Is it a Souls-like game?
No, that's 16.
Damn.
Fimber asks a good question.
Let me see. So
no, but
does this game involve some Disney characters?
Yes.
What?
It involves Disney branded characters, but don't let that throw you off, because it will.
Yeah.
You're gonna think Mickey Mouse, and I'm not meaning Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, right. No, it can't be that. Yeah, but if it involves Disney characters, then.
Well, that immediately, because he said it's just one-off. So it can't be Kingdom Hearts. It also can't be any games from the Cars franchise. It can't be any games from the Toy Story franchise, because those have multiple titles.
Right.
Yeah.
But Disney characters.
You know.
It's not an RPG.
It's definitely not a game that I'm probably ever played in my life.
No, but if it involves superheroes, then it has RPG elements.
Yeah, well,
Does it
I
have?
mean,
Because like if it has, all right. Because I need to understand like your level of thinking here. Like if I say RPG, I mean, am I being too like vague?
RPG to me is like it would to be an RPG. It has to be like Witcher, Final Fantasy. It has to be like RPG focused mechanics.
Okay.
If it's a third person action game, or if it's a third person climbing game, do you know what I mean? The focus has to be on the main mechanic, like because action games have some RPG elements in, like some
Ooh.
RPGs have driving elements in, and
Hang on, I think I have a question. Is this game still playable today?
yes.
Damn. Okay. It's not the game that I thought it was.
okay, does it involve superheroes? That's one of Timber's questions.
And this is it now. You've got to guess it on the next one. Fimber's onto it. Fimber knows what it is. Fimber's right. I can just tell.
What the hell?
I know. I don't think I've ever played this game.
I mean, I was thinking of one, but but it's not it because that game is no longer available to play.
It is.
No, the one that I was thinking of was what I was saying.
Which one were you thinking of?
That Marvel Heroes Omega game.
Oh no, then no, it's definitely not that.
Yeah.
You're like sniffing round, sniffing the right answer here. It's a very poignant day for this game as well. I'll give you that clue.
Oh.
Today is like a milestone for this game.
Whoa.
No, I know Timber says look at the chat, but even looking at the chat, I have no idea what this game is. Even if I ask these questions, I would still have no idea what this game is.
It's a very, very. It's a big IP.
Yeah, I'm sure it's like Batman, Superman, some shit like that, but I don't.
Oh my god. See, Fimber knows what it is. I think you should let Fimber do the guess, and if he's wrong, you can blame Fimber then.
All right, yeah, go ahead, Timber.
Go on, Fimber. What game
Put it in
do you
the
think
chat.
it is? Let them guess. I'm disappointed in you both. It's got big worlds across multiple levels and stuff. I don't know if you say it was open world. I'll even give you a clue. It's made by an American developer.
Oh my god, yeah, I think he got it.
Yeah,
Is it Marvel's
got
Avengers?
Well done, Fimber. You've saved them because otherwise they were literally gonna lose. So big shout out.
I don't know. I feel like the RPG thing though, because I consider that game an RPG because it has a lot of RPG elements. But...
according to the listings online, it's an action adventure game. So that's what that's what we go on. I wouldn't class it as an RPG. It has some RPG based mechanics, but it's described as a third person action adventure game. So, but yeah, that
was rough.
Marvel's Avengers, developed by Crystal Dynamics, published by Square Enix. I say that it's also published by Crystal Dynamics now, but at the time it was published by Square Enix. Was released on PS4, Xbox One, and Stadia and Windows, and then got PS5 and Xbox Series X and S ports. And it's delisted from digital storefronts today, 30th of September 2023. So, last chance to buy it. It's worth picking up for $5 or whatever it's at with all the DLC included. But after today, you will not be able to buy it digitally. You'll have to buy it physically. But it will still be playable.
Now I feel ashamed. I feel ashamed because I actually pre-ordered this game.
Exactly. That's why I knew you knew it.
Yeah.
I've yet to play that game, so.
But yeah, that is everything. They've just about squeaked through. Fimber won it for them. Congratulations, good sir. But yeah, I definitely recommend if you can afford it, pick it up. Like I say, it is on sale and it goes today. Yes, it's not perfect, but for the price they've got it at, it's worth having before it's gone forever. I'm assuming you'll be able to pick the disc up pretty cheap though, secondhand anyway, so I wouldn't worry too much.
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? It's worth at least.
Black Widow portion of the game is the best. Let anyone tell you different.
And shout out to Infinite Umber as well in the chat. But yeah, thank you to everyone who's tuned in today for this episode. We'll be back next Saturday, 8 p.m. BST. And I will be back in 20 minutes, 10 p.m. BST, with episode 2 of the OG show, which is an outright games-focused short podcast. Lasts about half an hour. We're doing it live this time. We did it pre-recorded last month, when it's like a once-a-month show, so you can join me and Magooba for that in, like I say, 20 odd minutes. But if not, thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Sentinel, for joining, and thank you for Slayer for coming on as a special guest. And we'll see you next week. And just to let you know, guys, we'll not be doing a show on the 21st of October. I'm away and BMG is also away, so we'll probably not have a show that weekend. We'll put something else on pre-recorded for all you guys. But yeah, thank you very much. Hit that like button, hit subscribe. Slayer, tell people where they can find you quickly.
So I'm Slayer Exclusive Gaming on YouTube, and other than that, I'm Slayer Exclusive pretty much everywhere else, on Twitter, on Xbox, PlayStation, you name it.
Awesome.
Nice.
And Sentinel, do you want to tell them where they can find you quickly? I think we've got your name below, but hey, tell them anyway.
Sure. SSG Sentinel. It's on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok. There you go.
And you can find us XPN Network pretty much everywhere. Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Threads, Facebook, everywhere. We're just there. And until next time, guys, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next week.
Later.